Joe Murray with you. A lot to get to, Joey. But first, what was your biggest takeaway from the Patriots win over the Browns?
My biggest takeaway of the day is the second half adjustments the Patriots coaching staff continues to make in games. Very close early on in this one, but when it came to the defense in the second half, they have been outstanding in third quarters. And wow, did Josh McDaniels put together a great offensive drive to start the half. It put the Browns away, and it forced Dylan Gabriel, I think, to make mistakes. So really, to me, overall, it was a pretty competitive day, and they faced the number one defense today, but still put up 30 points.
All right, that's what Joe Murray has to say. Let's hear what Mike Vrabel has to say as we go to Mike Vrabel's press conference brought to you by Oakers Technologies.
Taking advantage of our opportunities, turning drives into touchdowns, hitting some X plays, and not settling for field goals like we did in the first half. But sometimes it's going to be like that. A lot of times in this league, it's going to be like that. And we've had other games, and they asked me about starting fast, and again, we'll try to continue to work on that. But I'm also proud of the totality of the team, and I know there's so much more to improve. But we got stops in the second half, and we scored touchdowns, and that's what the difference in the game was. But it was also the way we finished the first half, by getting a stop and going down there and making a huge gain. We didn't convert, but we were able to move the ball down there in a field goal range, and Andy and that operation was able to take advantage of it and go into the halftime with the lead.
Mike, kind of extending that, just the complimentary football, Spillane the interception, and then the touchdown, Hawkins the interception, touchdown. How pleased were you when you saw those kind of things unfold? And you brought your team to the sidelines for the ensuing kickoff. What was the reason for having everybody stand up on the sidelines for that?
Well, I wish you guys would have noticed that a few weeks ago. We started doing that a couple weeks ago when we started going on the road. So glad you guys just now noticed, but that hasn't changed in 3 weeks. It was focus that we had on the road, trying to get up and support the other groups, the ones that were trying to create field position for us on the kickoff return or the kickoff. So taking advantage of the turnovers was huge. Certainly one on third down there with Spillane, and then the long one there that Hawk had. So we got to take care of the ball better and continue to find opportunities. They hadn't turned it over, and then when their gimmick plays ran out, I thought we played pretty good defense.
Looks like the team was pretty. Looks like the
Sorry.
team.
You were right. Far right.
It looks like the team was pretty fired up for Stephon Diggs after he scored his first touchdown of the season. Just how would you characterize the impact he's had in the locker room so far?
Really enjoyed being around him every day. There's energy, communication, his willingness to learn and play and figure out what it is that we need from him each and every week. There's been an energy. He's practiced when we needed him to practice, and we're going to have to start taking care of some of these veteran guys, and whether that's him or Morgan or Hunter and a lot of these other guys as we move on towards the season. But highly competitive. He's vocal. He cares. He's a great teammate. He's been really good for that position and some of the younger guys' development. So I'm happy to be able to get him in the end zone. It was long overdue.
Drake was sacked 6 times today, but still finishes with 280 and 3 touchdowns. Just how impressed were you with his resolve as this game went on?
Well, everybody's resolve. And, again, we'd like to have the sacks, but again, we got to get the ball out on time and understand who it is that we're dealing with. And, but I don't think that as long as we're keeping them clean and not, some vicious hits, we have to be able to be better in that regard. But, I think when we give them time to throw, it's pretty good, and it's good to see us hit a couple X plays. And but we knew that was going to be a challenge with this front, and then the way that they played, and certainly with Myles Garrett and committing 2 people to him, and him still, affecting the quarterback is obviously impressive.
Mike, we're going on 6 weeks now where you guys are among the best defenses in the league the last 3 quarters. What, besides the tackling, which we've talked about, do you see is driving that?
I think we settle in. I think we get some stops. I don't think we given up a ton of X plays in that regard. after the first drive, and whether that was a missed tackle or they got us and over aggressive and slipped the guy out of the backfield, but I think they play and they compete for 60 minutes. This isn't a 1 or 2 possession game. There's 10 or 12 at least possessions in a football game. So we got to continue to work on the things and enhance the things that we've done well and improve on the things that haven't been so well, which is the early game, the opening script, getting off the field on third down, which we had them in third and long and weren't able to. So, but creating third and long opportunities and then continue to get stops.
Mike, obviously not word for word, but what did you say to your team at the half? You guys struggled a lot in the first half, both obviously to move the ball, but then, of course, to get points, then 3 straight touchdowns to start the second half.
We were winning the game, so I just told them, keep playing. I mean, I don't know how many yards we had. I mean, those are stats. I look at the scoreboard, we were winning.
Mike, right behind him. Just curious your thoughts on Myles Garrett today, and I imagine you guys had him emphasized during the week. Just how hard is this guy to block, I guess?
Just size, speed, athleticism, bend. Having watched him last year, it's impressive and it's hard. They're trying to chip him and he gumbies around one guy and then speed bursts. The other guy is just an elite athlete with a tremendous skill set. And, I'm glad that, we don't play him twice every year unless we're both in the playoffs. So, he's just a dynamic player and, they do a nice job with him, and he certainly impacts a lot of football games.
Coach, what went into the individual player introductions? I know earlier you mentioned players standing up during special teams, but what was your thought process into having the players introduced individually before the game?
I just feel like these guys put a lot into it and would like to recognize them individually. Hopefully our fans can embrace that and get excited for them, and something that felt like we wanted to do, and create some energy early and get them to recognize the players' efforts and allow these fans to support us, which they did. I mean, it's getting loud on third down, and we got to continue to play hard for them so that they cheer for us. Hey, Soph.
Hey, Mike. Just curious, Christian Barmore, we didn't really see him in the first quarter. Was there anything that led to him being sidelined and then to see him come back in the game after?
Yeah, I had to make a decision. My job is to protect the team. So when there's actions that I don't feel like are commensurate with what we want to do here, I got to make a decision and we move on.
Last question, Dick Hyde.
Mike, run game was effective again for the second straight week. What'd you see happening there against a tough Browns defense?
Tough sledding. I think we stayed committed. We mixed some interior runs. We hit some outside plays, some perimeter runs, and then obviously the quarterback stuff helps to those numbers. And when they pressure and they play man coverage, and Drake can do that has to be part of who we are. We got to send them to spring training and figure out, when to slide and continue to talk about that and do my best there. Thanks, guys.
All right, that was Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel's press conference is powered by Oakers Technologies. Our coach knows a winning playbook is the key to success. And when it comes to your company's technology, the Oakers playbook has been unstoppable for over 100 years. So get future ready with Oakers, proud partner of your New England Patriots. And I'll tell you this, Joey, Mark Dondero, Joe Murray back here on the Shaws and Star Market Patriots postgame show. The big takeaway for me was identity, because we talked earlier in the year about the Patriots' identity and not exactly knowing what they were even going for. And now, not only do they know what their identity is, not only do we all know what their identity is, but they are great at forcing teams into playing their type of football, their game. And that has, been the best thing that I can say about this football team, because you talk about complementary pieces, you talk about playing on your terms. They are doing all of that and then some, and even a game today against the best defense in the league, the best pass rusher in the league, a former defensive player of the year who had his moments, obviously. They make him and them really, they take him out of the game. And the Browns lost this game by more than 2 touchdowns. The Patriots forced them ultimately to play their game. Drake May making plays, scoring points, and daring them to keep pace. And they couldn't come close. And that's the Patriots exerting their will, their dominance over an opponent. And they're doing that week after week after week. And that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, the other thing just to add in here is, they faced adversity in this game. They came back. They passed the test today. Right? That's what it is. The Patriots are passing the test. So if it's to their identity, good. Like a team that can have a lead at halftime, which was, curious at all. They kicked the field goal there, 9-7. But to come back out, play good defense, score right away, then force a turnover, and then run the ball down their throat and continue to make big plays downfield. The identity of the Patriots is you got to hit them early because teams have been, and they keep coming back. So how do you actually beat the Patriots now? Like this is now, today Cleveland came in there with some sort of game plan to challenge over the middle of the field. Well, when Dylan Gabriel couldn't throw over the middle of the field anymore, he couldn't get to the sidelines because Gonzalez was doing his thing on one side, and then the team was making great play after great play defensively. Mm-hmm. I don't know how teams are going to challenge the Patriots defense unless they get up over 2 scores. But at that point, I still think they're good enough offensively to come back.
I think the way you beat them now and the way that team should try to approach games against them now is I know this is going to sound a little bit overdone, try to keep it close and then hope at the end of the game, maybe Drake May's not quite as proven as a closer in a close game where he has to finish the job himself and kind of take it over. I'm not saying he can't do it. I mean, he sort of did it last year in Tennessee. They didn't win that game. He's done it this year. That was a close game earlier in the season against, what was the score against the Bills? I don't remember the score of that game. 23-20. It was a close game. So maybe just try to keep it close and hope you can clip them at the end. I'm not saying it's not a game that the Patriots can't win, but they are making you play their style, and you can't keep May down. Yeah. Even if you make plays against him, even if Myles Garrett has a borderline career day, he has 4 sacks, he's disrupting everything, he's getting around the edge. What was the Mike Vrabel, Gumbying around the edge or what he said? You still find yourself in a hole because he'll just come back and make another big throw to Mac Hollins or to Booty, and he'll make another play, and that solves nothing. Okay, and speaking of Drake May is now at the podium, so let's go to Drake May's press conference, brought to you by your Chevrolet dealers.
That's how they played. They played a great game. So I think when they did force turnovers, we scored off them, which was good to see. I think we left some out in the red zone, but we ran the ball, we threw it some, and we got the one turnover, me and the one with Travion at the end. So we got to learn from that, but. They're a good defense. They're good up front. They get that for the passer, and I got to do a better job of getting the ball out and knowing the kind of what mode I'm in to get it out.
Drake, did it feel like that Josh was kind of the way he called plays at the beginning of the second half, kind of some cleverness, some creativity that kind of opened things up for you guys? And was that something that was a little bit of a conversation in locker room at halftime?
Yeah, no, he was, his demeanor in halftime was, he could tell that, he was calming us down and knew that we were good. And, just classic, Coach McDaniels drive. I mean, he's just, dialing it up and, multiple times and getting guys open and really making it easy for me. So, he's done his whole life, and, I feel like he's, put on the surf speed offensive coordinator. So it was, it's fun to, be in the headset with him.
Mike Giardi in the front row.
Drake, after your long run, the crowd started chanting MVP, MVP. Next play, you throw the 39-yard touchdown pass to Kayshawn. More of the same. Did you hear it? What's your reaction to it?
No, I didn't hear it. The guys were making fun of me about my slide back in the huddle on the long run. So I didn't hear it, but the fans have been awesome all season. It's been really cool to really see the difference from last year to this year. It's been a journey, and they've been through it, and they've been the fans have been through it the last couple of years. So it's just credit to them, and we did the intros today for the first time, so we didn't know how that would go. That was pretty cool. But the fans have been awesome. Like I said, I think the best fans in the league, and they continue to show out every week.
Drake, I'm curious, with the 2 touchdowns today, one to Hunter and one to Stephon Diggs. First with the Hunter one, getting him the ball on National Tight Ends Day. What did that mean? And then with that second one to Stephon Diggs, finally getting him the ball in the end zone as a Patriot. Well, just on those 2.
Yeah, they mentioned something to me this week, Hunter and Hoop did, about National Tight End Day, and glad Big Hoop had a big catch, and a couple big catches, and Hunt had one there at the end. Missed him a few times. I've been missing him a lot throughout the year. So it was good to see him get in there. And then Steph was, we've been joking about him the other day that, Casey, Kayvon Chason had more touchdowns than Steph did. So finally Steph got in there and got one. So it was cool.
Drake, your touchdown to Kayshawn Boutte, and whether there was any advantage you guys gained by going formation to boundary on that play?
Yeah, really we're just trying to, we've worked into the boundary, and, Kayshawn liked it. On that side, we worked on that side during the week, so we just kept it that side, and he made a great move on him, and just trying to give him a chance. Thought I overthrew it again, but, he made a nice adjustment to it and a great catch.
Chris Ryan, front row.
Drake, obviously the number one ranked defense in the league. What did you learn about kind of yourself and how you had to adapt through the course of this game and make plays, end up with a stat line that you would like despite some adversity in the game?
Yeah, just bouncing back. Through early interception, and we talked about all week kind of this what they strived on, their defense, keeping their offense in good positions, and was looking downfield and forgot the guy in front of me could jump, so he picked it. But nice play by him. But just battling back from adversity. This is that league. One of the best players on the edge, and maybe the best player in the league on the edge. So just battling back and continue to run it and play action and boot, and just trying to keep the defense offense. Trying to be unpredictable on offense, and I think Coach called a great game, and good to handle adversity and come out at halftime and score 3 touchdowns in the third quarter was big.
Last question, Mike Reese in the front row.
Drake, you had mentioned about the pregame introductions. Coach Vrabel mentioned a chance to create more energy in the stadium and sort of get the fans maybe engaged in that moment. I'm curious, did you feel that, like a difference with those introductions, and what was your thought being the last guy out there?
Yeah, I thought it was I was nervous, a little bit nervous for it. You always see it, other teams do it, and I got really no swag, so I just go out there and run. But I think the guys enjoyed it. I think it was cool, kind of hanging back there in the back, being the last one. I think the first 10 guys, they had the wrong names running out. We ran out too fast, so I think we'll work on it. But I think the fans, I think it was new for them too, so they probably have to adjust to it maybe next time. You'll be ready for it. But I thought they were loud. I think it's really loud every time they do the call outs. But really that's it. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Drake.
All right, Drake May's press conference is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers and the Chevy Silverado, where dependability comes standard. So the worst thing the Patriots executed today was the player intros pregame, the individual intros pregame, I guess. One thing that was interesting to me, Joe, before we have to take a quick break, I want to talk about Josh McDaniels. Okay, in the game that he called today, I thought he had some very good moments, and I thought there was one moment in particular where Drake, he said it there in the press conference, talking about what Josh McDaniels offered to the team at halftime, some of the plays that Josh McDaniels called, and some of the different things that they did offensively, really helping out the offense. And I thought it was interesting, after the touchdown pass to Kayshawn Boutte, did you see Drake May specifically pointing to the sideline? He didn't say it in the press conference, but based on his comments, I'm assuming he was pointing at Josh McDaniels. So clearly, there's been a lot of conversation about who's should be given the most credit and who's at the foundation of this ascent. And I'm not saying this answers the question definitively, but it's clear based on what we saw today and what we heard today that Drake May feels strongly about Josh McDaniels' impact on this development progression and the trajectory we've seen. I don't know what you think. That's kind of my takeaway based on those comments.
Yeah, didn't love some of the play calls early on, but they made up for it. And you mentioned that play right there. Drake May is still learning. He went up against, for the crowd that says, wait till they play a good defense. You just played the number one defense and dropped 30 points. He had 3 touchdowns. Now, he had an interception in the game and he had a fumble, but he got it back. But maybe he was a little, hey, listen to the coaching now. Take some of this. We're going to put you in a better spot. Maybe that was McDaniels there helping him out. He pointed to him. I will say this, on that first drive out of the half, I keep going back to the half, third quarters. Yep. We saw the kitchen sink. That's Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
Throwing out they did like a fake reverse toss. Like, it was just, that's Josh McDaniels. So no doubt about it. We can say it's May who's elevated it. I'm one of those people, but I do think that, no doubt about it, Josh McDaniels has owned Schwartz, has owned him throughout his entire career. It was one of the things I said all week long. He certainly showed it in the second half today.
617-779-0985. Get the calls in today. A lot to talk about here as we continue on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show. But first, let's get headlines with Joe Murray.
halftime, making some adjustments, getting the quarterback outside the pocket. And when that pocket collapsed earlier in this drive, Drake May still picked up 6 yards. So you're getting positive plays even when you're breaking it down. Travion Henderson in that drive, getting him outside in space. That's the key. And a 7-yard little play action fake to the left, boot to the right, dump it to Hunter Henry for the touchdown.
All right, welcome back. Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray. The drive of the game is brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. We'll help you manage life's storms. That drive capped off by the Drake made a Hunter Henry TD, 7 plays, 77 yards in 4 minutes and 3 seconds. And I know there's a lot to like on that drive, Joe, from Josh McDaniels, specifically getting Travion Henderson back involved.
Yeah, the first drive he was involved a lot, and then he just kind of disappeared. I questioned why they went away from him, but Henderson ran well today. He had 10 carries for 75 yards. He had a 27 long. The fumble at the end of the game, I think, will get brought up. It was unfortunate to see the fumble, but overall, you see the dynamic duo that they can be, right? Stevenson and Henderson, like
sure.
One inside the tackles and the other one outside. And just so you know, when they stopped going outside, that's when Myles Garrett took over. Mm-hmm. So when they were playing that 12 personnel, that's when Myles Garrett made an impact in the game. So how do you take away one of the most impactful players? You go outside, and it worked beautifully.
I think that balance, trying to figure that out throughout the course of the game. Again, Garrett made his plays, obviously, but they were able to find ways around it and keep going and eventually wrestle the Browns into the type of game that they wanted to play, both offensively and defensively. Ashley is on the phone now and wants to talk about the defense. Hey, Ashley.
Hey, guys. I just wanted to talk about the run defense. I really don't think they're getting enough credit. I mean, they've held Genty. They've held Etienne. Yeah, he had receiving yards, but for the rushing, he really didn't have a good game against us. And now Judkins and James Cook. I really just don't think they're getting enough credit for the wins that they have. So just want your thoughts on that.
They getting enough credit, the run defense, Joe?
Yeah, they have yet to give up a rush, over 50 yards a rush to a running back this year.
Yeah. That's kind of ridiculous.
It is.
That's ridiculous.
And, you know, we'll be positive for now. Sounded like Christian Barmore missed the first quarter today for something.
Suspension. That's what it sounded like.
So
yeah.
we'll get into that. Yeah, Judkins was effective early on. He was wearing his helmet the rest of the game because he had some injury. Mm-hmm. But yeah, then by the way, this is another thing about Dylan Gabriel today. He looked good early on and was accurate, right? Once the running game disappeared, couldn't do anything.
So I think, again, I'm not going to try to downplay what the defense has done. But I do think part of the reason the run defense has been so effective is because the Patriots are getting teams to play their game. And their game is Drake May and scoring and kind of sprinting out to this lead. And that makes it really hard to run and staying with the run and all those things. The run defense is excellent. Don't get me wrong. But they are making teams uncomfortable. They're making them one-dimensional. And they're making them play their type of game. And that is not lending itself to other teams' desire to come in here and run the ball. It just isn't. Let's go to Josh in Indiana. Hey, Josh.
So I called in a few weeks ago and I was like, hey, sneaky big win because they beat a trash bag team. But I think now they're actually beating teams. Like, this isn't just like a sneaky big thing. This is they're doing what a good football team should do. Just want your thoughts and opinions.
Well, it's a good thought because here's the thing, Josh. How many great teams are there in the league? That's what I'd ask you. How many great quarterbacks are there in the league? How many teams with very limited flaws are there in the league? I don't know if there's one. Is there a juggernaut this year? I mean, obviously the Eagles are very good. They got a lot of talent. Their quarterback is very good. Is he elite? Is he an MVP type of guy? No. But he's very good. I mean, that's a team. But if you have a quarterback that might be more dynamic, I just feel like there's not a lot of great teams that are the clear-cut standard bearer in the league right now. Yeah. So I don't know what test you're looking for that's coming down the road.
I think the test is this. The Patriots have struggled defensively in 6 out of 8 games this year. They've given up points in 6 out of 8 opening drives.
Are you talking about opening drives?
Yeah. Opening drives.
Opening drives.
And in half the games this year, they've given up a touchdown.
Yeah.
And yet they still managed to beat the team by double digits and score 30 points. So, what? Yes, was it close? It was 7-6 early on. It was 9-7 at halftime, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was close, right?
Yeah.
The game was close at half. This is why my opening take was the adjustments. Like, Stefanski and Schwartz are good. Good coaches.
Yeah.
That was the number 1 defense in football.
Correct.
The Patriots just made adjustments and shut them down. And they had no running game. Maybe this is adding to your point, Mark, about their identity. I think that we're starting to see that they have the coaches in place to make the adjustments, and they have the talent to make the plays when the game's on. Christian Gonzalez was outstanding.
Outstanding game today. Best game he's played all year.
Right? That Hawkins interception?
Yep.
Awesome. Spillane was right there in coverage, coached in the right place, right? So, like, those adjustments, that's why they won these games. And then you add Drake May to the mix, who just closes the door with these big plays. So, yeah, I there's things that you can critique today or not like, but they answered. They literally passed the test.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I just don't know who else is out there that's going to put you in a position where you're just completely overmatched. I don't think are they the best team in the league? That's a separate question. We can have that discussion at some point. In fact, one of the callers wants to talk about that. I'm just saying there's nobody out there where you look at them and you say, wow, they're going to completely outclass the Patriots. Not right with the way they're playing right now, not with what the quarterback's doing. Now, again, has he been fully tested? Because, I mean, end of game situations, close games, comebacks, some of those things we haven't fully seen yet, especially against a good team. But I want to see, there's other things that are interesting that we'll see this year. But again, what team is really going to dominate you? You have to really circle on this game and be like, wow, that's a different animal.
Yeah, it's interesting because, you look at Cleveland, they're off a big win from last week. They scored 31 points against the Dolphins, who blow out the Falcons, who were without
just
panics.
beat the Bills.
Yeah, exactly. And now they're coming on to the Patriots next week. The Patriots have been, over the last 5 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it is, the most consistent team in football.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, let's, yeah. They have.
I mean, the Chiefs have been better, too.
And the way they're winning, too, is consistent. They're consistently making teams play their game, and they're beating them. Let's get one more real quick here. Trevor in the car. Hey, Trevor.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. And, Joe, I completely agree, with the defense and, them just letting up first, touchdowns on the first drive. It's unacceptable. But they're absolutely dialed right now. What is the Patriots' biggest threat in the AFC right now? I don't know. They're unstoppable. Would love to hear your thoughts.
I know who it is. It's the Chiefs.
Chiefs. Yeah, Vrabel said it so simply in the postgame. He's like, yeah, we just don't turn the ball over. We're going to be a pretty good team. We don't make mistakes. We're going to be a good team. Yeah. I mean, if Drake May doesn't throw the interception, they're in the game, right? They'd probably blow him out today. They did anyways, right? It's just, the Patriots' biggest opponent is themselves right now.
All right, I get one more. Chris is in Braintree. Hey, Chris.
Hey, guys. I just have a question on the Patriots' first half. Why are they bottoming out so hard in the first half? What do we have to do to get back and win that first half? And they're incredible in the second half, so why are we bottoming out that way?
May I just answer this one, Mark?
Yeah.
Mark, I think, is trying to say the Patriots' identity is this. They kind of go out there. They look to see how they can match up.
Yeah.
They hang in the game. They get into the locker room. They make adjustments. And then they literally shut everybody down. And everybody just kind of folds to that style.
Yeah.
They just can't keep up with them. They can't keep up.
That was traffic cone Chris on the line there. I'll tell you what didn't work, though. I want to make sure I get this right. Slick back Mac. Okay, he scripted 15 plays so they would start faster defensively. I don't think that worked. Look, again.
It was a good drive. It didn't.
So the defense still, once again, that's a critique that we're going to continue to talk about. But, again, a slow start. And maybe against a good team in a big game, that's going to bite them. But it didn't do it today. 617-779-0985. This is the Shaws and Star Market Patriots post-game show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing to Chevy Colorado.
Taking the toss. He runs into the right. And he gallops past the 40 to the 45, 50 to the 45 of Cleveland. And he holds on with the ball in his arm. Tackled from behind by a defender trying to knock it free with a run to the 38-yard line. Travion Henderson.
I remember that from August.
Make that burst to the outside on the toss. Tom Jones brought him down, trying to knock the football loose, but the Pats have it at the 38.
Yep, they do a good job. They pull linemen. They get him outside, off tackle. That's where he's got to be. That's his spot.
All right, back here on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray, 617-779-0985. That was Travion Henderson ripping off a 27-yard run there. Unclogging the Gaps is brought to you by Eastern Mass's leader in drain cleaning and pipe lining, Drains by James. Slow drain, clog drain. You need to contact Drains by James today at drainsbyjames.com. They give a poop about your pipes. Travion Henderson, Joe, for the second consecutive week, Drake May, not the leading rusher, which continues to be a positive development here for the Patriots. Not perfect from Henderson today, but it was nice to see the spark, especially against the best defense in the league. Travion Henderson getting some touches and being productive with his opportunities in this one.
Well, I think it just changed things maybe for Cleveland, right? They knew what Ramondre Stevenson was. Stevenson still had 14 carries on the day for 34 yards. It wasn't great, but he held on to the ball. May had some good runs early on. You remember the one he got out of bounds he kind of laughed at? That was a smart play by him. He still averaged 7 yards. But Henderson overall, again, if he didn't have that fumble at the end of the game, I'd love to tell you he's one of the top guys on the day. Well, unfortunately, he had the fumble at the end of the day. It didn't impact the game. It didn't hurt them. It would have been a nice little, gravy on top of the win. But overall, if they can get 75 yards, if they can get 100 yards between the both of them, it's going to make Drake May's day much easier. And it did make Drake May's days much easier.
Yeah, May himself still rushed for 50 yards. Your assessment of May running the ball, that was a topic of conversation after last week. What'd you think of him this week?
He was protective. Yep. There was a play right over the middle of the field. If you remember, he kind of went down early, avoided the hit. The one out of bounds I liked. I actually have no complaints. I thought he was aware. There was an awareness to it.
Yeah, I don't have a complaint about it. I do think it was deserved when he said in his press conference that the guys were kind of giving him a hard time for the slide. I don't know why he slid so awkwardly there. He knows how to slide. They've talked about it he's a former baseball player. He knows how to slide. So I don't know why that was so strange. And just get down. The game was in the bag at that point. The play was in the bag at that point. You didn't need to get up to the face of the defender before you slid. So I didn't really understand that. And I did like what Mike Vrabel said in his press conference, where he talked about how he took he was pretty clean and didn't take vicious hits. Okay? Yes, he was sacked today, Joe. He took some hits, but this is a football player playing quarterback in the end. Like, he's going to take hits. I'm not going to freak out every time Drake May takes a hit.
I did not, now we're being negative.
Yeah.
I didn't think the left side of the line was great today, but this is a welcome to the NFL moment when you're going up against potentially the best defensive end in football. But, I know we can save it for later, but the best defensive end in football made a big impact, but his team lost by how many today?
Right. And you don't want to get me going on defensive ends and the structure surrounding how you build a team.
He made an impact, but I think I want to credit the coaching staff for adjusting to where he made no longer an impact in the game.
Yeah, it's just you're limited in what you could do. I mean, you can only do so much. Chris is in upstate New York. Hey, Chris.
Hey, guys. Hey, I listen to the game and the pre and post every week, and you guys do a great job. My question is this. Joe, I heard you say about the identity, and I agree. My question is this on the de facto DC that every week somebody comes down, the teams come downfield and just score immediately and we play from behind? Are we that predictable?
Well, I know you were the one who's mentioned the identity. I was just trying to say I don't know if they actually scheme anything. Like, I think maybe it is because T's out and, now they have Kerr in there and Vrabel's just like, we'll figure it out. So I think they're putting their best guys out there and then they make adjustments. I don't really know if they have a blueprint like Slickback Mac made for the offense.
Look, the thing is, that first drive, not only did they execute Cleveland, but it looked like they knew what the Patriots were trying to do. I mean, Dylan Gabriel looked very comfortable. It was, I'm not going to say it was a joke, but he looked so at ease in the pocket.
Shredding.
It was a shredding
It was
that
surgical.
first drive. Right. Just on the first drive.
Yeah.
Though. So I don't really understand why they look so vulnerable, why they are so vulnerable on those first drives. But it's hard to really beat them down for it when you consider how they bounce back in every game, how they've bounced back. And they've played some, I mean, even you go back, again, how many good teams are they? When they played Buffalo had scored, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not giving exact, 40 points, 30, 31, and 30. They were over 30 in every game before they played the Patriots. Then they scored 20, and they've sort of been on a slide ever since, up until today and after their bye week. So I don't know what to tell you in terms of why they're starting slow, but it's not really affecting what they want to do overall.
And I want to credit the defense for the second halves, but I think Louth, our great program director, was working the game today. In the last 5 games, the Patriots have outscored their opponents 52-7.
Yeah.
In the third quarter, 21-0 today.
Since the Carolina game. I mean,
52-7.
Again, they are wrestling them into the type of game they want to play, and it's no mercy.
Yeah. I use the term like spider web. It's like this.
Yeah.
Once you get them in their web, they got you.
It is an interesting question, though. How do you beat the Patriots? That is an interesting question because I don't know right now. I just think you try to keep it close and then see what you can do at the end during crunch time.
You can't blitz Drake May, right?
Yeah.
He'll shred you. Today, there was a little bit of happy feet, but I think Myles Garrett did that.
Sure. That's okay. He's the best player on defense in the league.
Then they game planned around it, did play action, a couple of other things, and it opened up. And then it went outside a little more, too.
And again, I'll say it again. The key for the Patriots, I think, in this one, yes, Cleveland made plays, which we expected. They were really good. But it wasn't like Drake May went into a hole. It wasn't like he just kind of caved in after that. He came back and punched back and made a throw down the sideline to Hollins or made a throw to Douglas, or he did something that countered what Cleveland did. So, yeah, he got hit a little bit. He got punched a little bit, but then he was able to bounce right back and get the Patriots right back on track. A lot more to come here on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show. Joe Murray's going to have a headlines for us, but first, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub, Patriots Radio Network.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, this is Boston's home for sports. WBZ-FM at HD Boston 98.5 The Sports Hub. Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The Patriots beat the number 1 defense in the NFL today. The Cleveland Browns 32-13. Drake May 3 touchdown passes. Stephon Diggs got into the end zone along with Hunter Henry and Kayshon Boutte. Mac Hollins a big day, 7 catches, 89 yards, 177 yards on the ground. The defense even had 2 interceptions. What a day for the Patriots, who've now won 5 in a row. They're 6-2 on the season, and they welcome the Atlanta Falcons next week to Gillette. Atlanta today, well, they struggled against the Miami Dolphins today. And that was the Dolphins now 2-6 on the year after the 34-10 win. Texans 26-15 over the 49ers. Ravens 30-16 over the Bears. Bills 40. Panthers 9. Eagles got a 38-20 win over the Giants, and the Jets scored 23 fourth quarter points. They defeated the Bengals 39-38. Right now, Bucks have a 7-0 lead. 3 minutes to go in the first half. Broncos up 14-3 on the Cowboys, and the Colts have a 10-0 lead over the Titans. Later on tonight, Packers at Steelers. Monday Night Football. Washington without Jaden Daniels will take on the Chiefs, and the Celtics are currently in action. They're taking on Detroit. The current score at the moment right now, and it's just after halftime. Celtics trailed the Pistons 60-58. Headlines are brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandoilChange.com. You'll save 15% off an extra after oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update in 30 minutes.
This is the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show. Shaw's and Star Market make shopping, ordering online, and saving easier than ever. Download the Shaw's Deals and Delivery app or the Star Market Deals and Delivery app today. Now, here's Mark Dondero and Joe Murray.
Again from 42, right hash mark, toward the enclosed end, the south end of Gillette. Ashby, the rookie, Long snaps it to Behringer. Borregales kicks it. His kick is driven right down the middle. It's good, and the Patriots have the lead. The first half comes to an end. And New England, despite an inconsistent first half, positive drives, going backwards eventually, opportunities for touchdowns, settling for field goals, but they head to the break in the lead over the Browns.
All right, back here on the Shaws and Star Market Patriots postgame show. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray, once again this season as part of their Apex Cares program. Apex Entertainment will be donating $100 to support autism education and research at the New England Center for Children for every converted field goal. For more information, go to apexentertainment.com. Andy Borregales today, 3 for 3 on field goals, 3 for 3 on extra points. Another solid day for a Patriots team that, once again, every week we've come on and we're essentially nitpicking the performance of this team. The one area of concern that you could come away with on this day, the left side, Myles Garrett, Will Campbell allowing some pressure. And are those turnovers that Drake May, the would-be fumble and then the interception, are those areas that you really need to be worried about if you're a Patriots fan and maybe him falling into some bad habits, or was that just a product of, hey, you played a really good defense?
I'll say this, Mark. I think early on it was a good defense. I do. I think Myles Garrett took over the game. And until they game planned against him, that was it. I'm trying to remember some other plays today that Cleveland really did well. Did you feel like the Patriots were just a better team overall, though? Despite some of the good things that Cleveland had early on?
Yeah, in large part because, once again, the quarterback's more dynamic. And I just think, some of the little things, I know we're going to get to a point where we can stop talking about these things, but even the first drive of the game, okay, a bad drop from Kayshon Boutte, and maybe because he was short of the first down, he only catches balls past the first down marker, which I love. But it was a perfect throw from May to Boutte, down away from the defender. Yes, Boutte had to go down to catch it, but it was right where it needed to be. It went off his hands. He didn't catch it. That was a perfect throw. That is, I thought May against that defense, it wasn't perfect, but you're not going to be perfect against the best defense in the league. He was throwing it better probably on the run. McDaniels, credit to him, he got him out, especially in that the first drive of the second half. But it's not like he couldn't make throws from the pocket. I think that throw he made to Austin Hooper that was right down the seam. And by the way, I love seeing the seam route back in the offense. I've been waiting years for one of those Gronkowski seam routes. He made that play. They're making the plays, and he did it again in a spot where he's facing a really good pass rusher, really good pressure. Let's talk to AJ and Malden. Hey, AJ.
Because being a guest costs about as much as...
AJ.
Hey.
What's up, man?
Let's go, Patriots. Drake May's the best quarterback in the NFL. We're back, baby. Let's go.
AJ's fired up. I'll say this just off of that call, Joe. I don't know what the odds are. Was Mahomes atop the MVP odds? You have Dak Prescott, who I know was leading he was one of the favorites at one point. Dallas is currently down. It's a long game. Dallas is down 14-3 at Denver. Not doing much offensively. Baker Mayfield didn't have a banner night in Detroit on Monday night. They're going to probably bounce back today against the Saints. And once again, Drake May shines. I'm just saying, you might be one bad, and they've got a better record than Kansas City. You might be one bad Mahomes performance away from him legitimately leading the race for MVP. I don't know.
I got your current odds right now at DraftKings. Patrick Mahomes plus 120, Josh Allen plus 360, Drake May plus 500, followed by Baker Mayfield and Matt Stafford.
Josh Allen, huh?
Still there, plus 360.
Okay.
They scored 40 points today, and I think Josh Allen might have had one touchdown.
Yeah. Well, Cook had a big run at one point. Look, that's a conversation that this team doesn't care about, and I understand that. I think a more interesting conversation to me is what we were sort of talking about. Like, how do you beat this team? How do you approach this? How do you attack this team? How do you slow down May?
Here's one thing I'll say. How do you not have a free safety with Kayshon Boutte on the outside? Like that. By the way, the touchdown throw to Boutte.
Yeah.
Beautiful throw.
Beautiful route.
And if you watch it, the safety went with the receiver that went this way, and it's just one-on-one, and there's no safety over the top. Like maybe that's. I don't know how you beat the. Right now, like I'm today. I am floored by the coaching advantage. Like Stefanski and Schwartz are good. They're good coaches. I know the team stinks, but they're good coaches. They got literally schooled second half by Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, I mean, you're giving the coaches probably more credit than I am.
Yeah,
I'm giving them credit.
May was
I'm
great.
giving them
May was
credit.
great
Yeah.
today. Yeah, but again, it was a 9-7 game at halftime.
Yeah,
it was a game of adjustments today. It was just Drake May was too much for everybody.
I think the attitude that Mike Vrabel brought to the Patriots, they're finally sort of showing some of that. I didn't feel like that was necessarily the case in the first quarter of the season or whatever, but they are showing that now, and this team is just. I mean, May is doing it all. What's his weakness right now? If you had to identify his personal weakness,
his
what
personal weakness is his own footwork. I would say that's his. In the interception he threw, he got. It wasn't a good positive play.
I get that, but he's rolling out to his offhand. His footwork was a little messed up. Yeah, that was a bad play.
No, I'm just answering the question.
No, you're right.
Besides beating himself,
yeah.
What is it? He can hit any throw over the middle.
Yeah.
He can hit a deep sideline. You just mentioned the play action seam right over the middle. He can throw on the run. He hits the sidelines perfectly. And is it the red zone? Because today he threw they designed a nice play to Stephon Diggs. Like where does he struggle to throw the football?
I mean, I get maybe his decision making could still continue to evolve, but there were a couple plays today where he dropped back and then took off and run. And it's like, oh no, don't just do that, try to. And then immediately after that, it felt like he did go through his progressions. Yeah. And he did make a couple good throws from the pocket where he went to his second or third option and delivered a strike. One part of the offense I'm not as big on, and Drake May seems to like it, and I don't despise it. But they throw to Stevenson sort of a lot more than I would think out of like a wide receiver formation. And one thing I would like for them to do that they have not done at all, Joe, that needs to emerge for this offense to make them even better. Can you get a screenplay up and running, please? One productive screen pass. I feel like they haven't had one all year where it's like a good quality screen.
They threw one to Henderson that got sniffed out. But listening to just thinking back to something you said earlier, like what's something that Drake May could be better at. Vrabel complimented him on his resolve today. Like he had some issues early on.
Mistakes.
Didn't look like that in the second half.
No.
Sometimes those get to quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
Like they'll take a hit or make a bad play and then it just eats at them the rest of the game. Not Drake May.
Not today. And not really this season. Andrew's in Dorchester. Hey, Andrew.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Good.
Peachy.
Good. Let me just ask you guys a question real quick. When Drake May rolls out, do you guys feel like he's going to complete a pass?
I 100% do, and I love the feeling I get when he's on especially to his throwing hand.
Seriously, it's like I'm not comparing him to Brady. Okay, I'm not comparing him to Brady. When Brady used to drop back and show the pass on third down. I mean, granted, the first half was not good. Drake May was not good in the first half, but when Drake May rolls out and shows the pass on third down, it's just like automatic. You don't know if it's Diggs or if it's Booty, and it's just automatic every time that this guy rolls out when he's dropping back to pass. And on third down, that's so crucial because I thought Drake.
We'll let you go. It's crucial. What do you think of when he rolls out?
I think that when you play defense and you go up against a mobile quarterback, it's really hard to know if they're going to drop and run or they're going to beat you over the top. And I think that teams are sometimes falling into that where they might go with a receiver and then let him go. Or they try to they have to make a decision, right? Generally, Drake May is making the right decision. The defense isn't making the right decision.
It's just, this is what we talked about with Tom Brady earlier in Tom Brady's career, and we've kind of compared. I know people hate that comparison, and I get it, but the feeling you get when Brady had the ball or was playing quarterback, you just felt like something good was going to happen. You couldn't even explain it, because it's not like he was Michael Vick and the most dynamic outlet. You just felt like something good was going to happen. That's starting to take shape with Drake May.
Yeah,
you just feel like he's going to make the right read, make the good throw, and something good will happen.
Yeah, I would say like that first game this year, I think he had trouble with progressions. I think he did. But when he now controls the game, right? This is why the running thing. When he runs, the defenses don't know what to do, but Drake May knows what he's doing. And they've never ever had a quarterback that was a dual threat that makes the defense, puts them on their toes to where they have to make the decision. And this is what I mean by he's always making the right decision.
That's right. And just to kind of further that, Joe, it's a situation where he's not just using his legs to bail out his mind. He uses his legs, but effectively and at appropriate times. And he's not just trying to fall back on that because he gets so frazzled or flustered with what he's seeing. I think he's just fine. Is he elite? Is he Tom Brady? Of course not. But I think he's just fine reading a defense, trying to go through the progressions, trying to be a throw-first type of quarterback. I think he's just fine doing that. And then you use the legs. He knows he's a weapon. They can be a weapon for him, and I think he does it and uses it appropriately. And he took the he was trying to make it a priority to not get hit today, which everybody can appreciate.
Yeah. It sounds like we're trying to find nitpicks in Drake May's game right now. So I guess if I had to give one, sometimes when he's on the run, he throws back to the middle of the field.
Okay.
And it's not the most high percentage play. But like today, what can we really talk about? The number one defense in the league. How's Will Campbell going to play against Miles? 32 points.
Yeah, well, I think part of the discussion is it going to be a situation where you have to be concerned because some of the things they're doing could lead to problems later.
Yeah.
Or in a playoff.
Like if you go down 14-0 to Buffalo.
That's a spot they haven't been in.
Exactly.
So I'd almost be interested. No.
Yeah.
Against a quarterback of that caliber.
Exactly. But they are smashing bad teams. No doubt about it.
Let's go to John in Boston. Hey, John.
So quick, first of all, great win. There's no doubt about it. But the question I have is maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way, or I might be even asking the question the wrong way. 6 sacks, 5 of them come from the likes of Garrett there. Do we have the capabilities, the strength to fix this problem and resolve a problem like that and maintain it? Because even though it's a great win and even though we dissected 30-something points, 6 hits on any quarterback, let alone Drake May, it's going to come up. And when you have one particular player that's standing out, do we have a solution to that, or can we find a solution? And what might that solution be? Where is it?
So let me further that, Joe. Did the Patriots today have a solution for Myles Garrett or not?
Yes.
I think they did. I mean, he might be the best defensive player in the league with how he's playing right now. He's going to get his. I mean, we talk about it on offense. We're going to, like Belichick used to let you play left-handed or whatever. But, the whole thing, like, he's going to get his, and you just take away everybody else. I don't know. It felt like to me they had an answer. They made adjustments. They played better in the second half. Felt like an answer to me. Did he continue to produce and hit the quarterback a little bit? Sure. But that felt like an answer to me.
There was nobody else. Devin Bush, all the names that I gave you last week to look out for, did nothing.
I mean.
I
thought it was
like Denzel Ward did nothing to me.
Could have looked cleaner, but it felt like they made adjustments that helped the Patriots have success in certain plays that Myles Garrett didn't ruin. And that was an answer to me.
If the caller wants to say that Drake May can't be taking 6 sacks a game, fine. Did it ultimately make any impact in the game, really?
Well, you don't want him to get hurt.
Early on, it did. But they figured it out.
You'd rather not have that number of sacks. Yeah. But then I go back to what Vrabel said. And it's he's the best. It's the best defense and the best player. And if that's why you lift the weights. That's why you play you're prepared for. He's 6'5". They drafted a guy with a big body, so he could take those type of hits. And you're going to have that happen. And they did today. And again, when they win by 19 points, what are you supposed to say? All right, Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal will be joining us around 5:35. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray, 617-779-0985. This is the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots post-game show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network. play from him every game. 1 or 2.
Yeah, and they try to get him involved in the run game. He had the reverse. I think he had one for 8 yards, then had another one taken. But that's what Pop's going to do. He's going to give you a big play, or he's going to try to help you within the running game.
Mason is in Walpole. Hey, Mason.
Hey, guys. How's it going? I was kind of looking at the broader picture after this game, kind of comparing this team to the 2021 team. I was kind of wondering what you guys' take would be on how this team could get to the next level. They're pretty much the same way they were then, but how could they get to the next level? What's the difference with this team instead of getting blown out by the Bills by like 30 points or whatever it was that year? Just wondering what you guys thought. What's the difference in this team this year?
I'll tell you right now, I thought Carlton Davis was pretty good today. He's been beat the last couple of weeks. But I think it's the emergence of Christian Gonzalez. Like, they tried to go at Gonzalez a couple of times. Gonzalez was physical today. He held the whole boundary on the outside. They tried a deep ball. Was it Jerry Jeudy in the end zone? It was stupid play. I don't know why Dylan Gabriel was trying to go at Christian Gonzalez today. Like, if they watched film, Mark, they would know to go after the other guy. And when they went at Marcus Jones, he also had some. So where can they go to the next level? I think it's getting better defensively. But today you saw a step from Christian Gonzalez, if you ask me.
Yeah. The answer is Drake May, the quarterback. The quarterback is an MVP candidate, okay? Now, 2021 was a nice year, especially that first 3 quarters of it. They had good games. They put up some points. They scored 54 that year against the Jets. They scored 45 against Cleveland that year. But when you watch the games, that wasn't this. The way that this quarterback, this is the script you want from a player, from a quarterback. This is what you want it to look like. This is the trajectory you want it to look like if you're talking about what could take them to the next level. This is not a team. How much have we talked about managing the game this year, Joe? We don't talk about it much because nobody's doing that. He's winning games. He's dynamic. This team, much more dynamic than 2021. I don't think it's that close. If you want to talk about the next level or whatever, that comes, I guess, in 2 ways. One, defensively, do they dominate? I wouldn't say they dominate. They're a nice complement to the offense and what May is doing. And then the other thing is, can you win the big games? They've already done it once with Buffalo. Can you win those games on the road, big spot, clutch moments, comebacks? That type of thing.
Well, he's been clutch.
Yes.
We can go back to the games.
Yeah.
And the halves, he's been good. He's come back and won multiple games this year. The only reason why I say the defense is Drake May's been consistent and better every week, right? But it's the defense can do this a little bit early on, and it's not an issue. It's not a problem. But I just think that if they can get him at that level and the defense at their level, it's going to be hard to beat them.
And it's hard to do, though. It's
very hard to get them
because
both going.
Your identity is your identity.
Yeah.
Usually teams don't have – this is the problem with the Patriots. I mean, you either have an elite offense or an elite – like, it's hard. You want to be balanced, and they're pretty balanced. They just need those tests. And look, I know Kansas City is spooking everyone right now because of the resurgence of their offense, and they got Rice back and some of these – but they're not some juggernaut. And I don't think Philly is some juggernaut. They've had internal issues. You know, they lost to Denver at home because Knicks was dynamic for that stretch. They can be beat too. This is not a perfect league. And I don't know. I think the Patriots right now are probably as good as anybody out there based on the way they've played. Tom is in Newburyport. Hey, Tom.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for taking my call.
Yo.
Yeah, Tom.
What's up, man?
Oh, sorry. So I wanted to point out something I noticed about Drake May's season the other day. The numbers have probably changed a little bit, but when I looked it up, he was on pace for the highest completion percentage in NFL history this season. What's crazy is he's also been pressured more than any other quarterback in the league this season. So normally you'd think, okay, it's mostly checkdowns, that sort of thing. He's also averaging the most air yards in the league of any quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Those 3 stats make no sense together, and it just shows how incredible he's been.
And again, no screen passes. They barely ever, forget about to the running backs. They're barely even, which I love, by the way. The elimination of high school plays in the NFL. Newsflash, they don't work. And the Patriots aren't running them. They're running NFL plays with an NFL quarterback, and I love it. But I would like a screen pass mixed in every now and then that you could, rely on in the red zone. Or third and long. Like, they just haven't had them. Checkdowns, They're not really checking it down. Wes Welker plays, those don't exist. They're not even throwing those passes. They're barely using the tight ends, Joe.
Yeah,
they're just down the field dynamic. It's unbelievable.
If you really want to look at it, today was probably one of the days where, again, no checkdowns, but he was about 12 yards per completion today.
Yeah.
Which is a little low. It used to be 8 and 7.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about his game, that's the difference. But the reason why I think he's the most pressured is because they were trying to blitz him early on, and then he started shredding people. And now it's like, I don't know if defenses what's Atlanta gonna do next week?
Pray. I mean, I don't know. Run the ball.
What they do against Tua today?
Bijan takes over, and you can keep May off the field, maybe, and then get the play action working, and hope the Patriots fumble again. I don't know. I mean, it almost felt like today, Joe. They were struggling. It's a good defense. Garrett's making plays, and then it was like enough is enough. Let's go back to our reliable, and we start throwing it down the field. And that's what settled them down. Big chunk plays from May down the field. Usually it's, all right, we're going to settle down. We're going to just easy completions, dump offs, check downs, and let's create a little rhythm. The Patriots create rhythm by throwing it down the field to Hooper on the seam or down in the corner to Hollins for 24 yards. That's their most consistent, reliable method. I love it. It's totally different.
Just to tack on that Falcons thing, who the Patriots play next week. They had 1 sack and 2 QB hits today. That's not going to do it versus Drake May.
No.
It's not.
I mean, it did.
This is the point now.
6 sacks doesn't do it against Drake May.
Maybe we could ask Greg Bedard. What is it, man?
I'm just saying I think you try to run the ball. It's like a classic juggernaut offense. Even though I'm not saying that's what they are. You have to operate like that. Real quick, Dan is in Dover. Hey, Dan.
Hi, guys. Really enjoy your program. A quick question for both of you. What is it with Drake May for taking so many sacks, and he has like a mental block on throwing the ball away? He will not throw the ball away. He'll take the sack. I think
he did.
Instead of throwing the ball onto the ground.
Well, on one of them, I can say he did, again, kind of like that slide. He waited a little long to the play wasn't there, and he almost waited to where the defender was in the zone where he could hit him to throw it away. Finally, it was a rollout on the side. I forget what quarter. Throw it away. The play wasn't there.
If there was another one on a third down, he rolled left. Keyshawn Booty was kind of double teamed, but he threw it to the boundary away. It was a third down play, but he didn't force it. He was double teamed. It's the only throw he had. So I do think at times he's been way more protective with the football than he was a year ago. That's a fact.
That was a tough play. I forget. Was it the third quarter where they tried a play action? And I think it might have been the strip. Was it the strip or the?
Yeah.
He saw it, but he should have been a little bit more. He should have expedited his process a little bit more because you could see that guy coming. He did recognize it, but he still went through the complete action of the play action, and you just didn't have time. You need to abort and just get it out or run. You got to know that play is not going to match up with what you're trying to do. So
did it hurt him?
No, there's one thing. All right.
But they'll go to the film and do that.
Yeah.
And every week, hasn't he gotten better? Like film work. This is why I bring up the coaching staff.
Yeah.
It's way better than it was a year ago. It was bad last year.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it was bad.
Way better this year. In terms of culture, I like the fact that if there was a problem, he'd bench Barmore to begin the game and scheme. It's all better. Much more to come here on the Shaws and Star Market Patriots postgame show. Most notably, Greg Bedard coming up next from the Boston Sports Journal. But first, we got headlines with Joe Murray.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius.
All right, welcome back to Shaw's and Star Market Patriots Postgame Show. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray. New England converted 23 first downs today, and with every first down, Credit Union's Kids at Heart funds promising studies into new treatments for pediatric brain diseases. Learn more at cukidsatheart.org. And that play that we were just featuring there, that 19-yard pass to Hollins, Joe, he looked like a shortstop. Like he was turning two. Quick release, gets the throw, quick release down the field, and an accurate throw down the field. And now we are pleased to be joined by Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal. Greg, good afternoon. How are you?
Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Doing excellent. Great now that you're on. I want to ask you this. Based on what you saw today, Greg, what are you most excited about to dive into with the film and study from this past game here, this win over the Browns?
Good question. I didn't know you were going towards the film, but I would say just the thing that I was most impressed by today was Drake May's ability when things weren't going great, and you sort of knew he was going to encounter that today, whether that was Myles Garrett and his ear hole or the interception that he threw. He also had a fumble that, he just sort of kept going and didn't lose his head. Stayed even keel, made plays when they were there, had a spectacular third quarter. That's the thing being at the game today that I was most impressed by. The thing that I'll probably want to watch a little bit more was, I think, probably some of the ways that they got the run game going today, especially with Travion Henderson. Were able to go outside a little bit more, which we haven't seen in some time. And also, the job that the defense did, not that I think, Dylan Gabriel is an NFL quarterback at this point, but, the Browns go, 70 yards for a touchdown on the first drive. And then over the next 7 possessions, they totaled 58 yards. So another nice rebound by the Patriots defense against a very subpar NFL offense.
Greg, my takeaway was the adjustments from the Patriots in the second halves. Last 5 games, they've outscored their opponents 52-7 in the third quarter. Today, 21-0. You also wrote earlier in the week about Drake May being mature, or needing to be mature in the game. He faced adversity, he passed the test, but is it the coaching staff that's the reason behind these great third quarters from the Patriots?
It would be tough to argue, with those, with those stats. I mean, I think, especially, the drive that Josh McDaniels had to start off the third quarter, sort of going in his bag for more than a few things, and scheming runs open, scheming pass plays open. Hunter Henry's wide open, for a touchdown. That was a great McDaniels drive. I thought, sort of looking at some of the stats at halftime, I thought one of the things that jumped out to me, and it looks like it was corrected over the course of the second half, was I thought the pass run was out of balance in the first half. I think in the first half, the Patriots were at something like 65% pass in the first half, and then you knew you were going to play a tight game. And I know it was not easy running. The Browns, the Patriots have a really good run defense. The Browns might be better. It's pretty close. But in this type of game, you needed to keep that up, not only to try to establish something on the ground, but also, just keep the Wolves off of Drake May a little bit, and don't put everything on Drake May early in a game like this against Myles Garrett. And I thought McDaniels got a little bit wayward with that in the second half, but it definitely looks like it got corrected, because by the end of the game, of course, the game was basically over by the end of the third quarter. They had dropped back 52% of the time, and they had designed runs on 48%. So that's more what I expected, and it seems like they got into that in the second half, and I thought that really helped things.
Well, obviously, Drake May took a little bit of a beating today, 6 sacks. The line, not great based on the production the Browns had. It's a great defense, maybe the best defensive player in the league in Myles Garrett. And at the center of that a couple of times, Greg, was Will Campbell. Was this a bad game for Will Campbell based on what you watched today, or is this just kind of what you expect going up against a team and a defensive front that's that good?
Yeah, it's about what I expected. And Look, to defend Will a little bit, I think, what we'll see on a lot of those pressures and sacks was that, he's getting some help, whether that's a running back chip, a tight end chip, a double team, or what have you. Oftentimes, those are the toughest things for an offensive tackle. You'll get a lot of veterans who will tell the offensive coordinator, I don't want any help in this game, because more often than not, those guys are screwing things up, whether not being where they're supposed to be or pushing the guy where you don't have leverage or whatnot. And that can take a lot of practice and reps together. And I think that, some of that was at play. Obviously, Will had, excuse me, some tough times. I was just looking at Next Gen Stats. So they said that they said that Garrett recorded 5 of his pressures and 3 of his sacks across 13 matchups with Patriots left tackle Will Campbell. Campbell did not allow a pressure on his 20 other pass blocking snaps. So, I thought Will did a pretty good job today. This is just, it's going to happen. Myles Garrett is a complete freak, and, Micah Parsons is good. Myles Garrett is the best player in the defensive player in the league and has been for a few years running.
Speaking of running, the Patriots back-to-back games now over 150 yards on the ground as a team. Back-to-back games where Drake May is not the leading rusher, but Travion Henderson got it on the act despite the fumble late in the game. Overall, your thoughts on Henderson's performance today? Yeah, good. I've been saying for a couple weeks, even when the running game wasn't doing much, I was like, it's getting closer. And I think a guy like Henderson, it was just a matter of time. I thought it might have been last week with the Titans. I was a little bit off, and I would say this was a mini breakout game for him. I think he's certainly capable of a lot more. And he actually didn't play a ton. I think he only played like 14 snaps, but he was getting the ball. He played 14 snaps. Next Gen had him for plus 21 rushing yards over expected. So that's a big change because he's been, if not the worst, one of the worst running backs in the league in terms of rushing yards over expected. He's basically been like a -1+ on every single run. So it was good today. I thought he ran with a little bit more patience. I do think that he runs to contact a little bit too much, and I think we saw that on the fumble. I don't know if it's the messaging, and you remember that preseason game where all these guys were finishing, and it's great. That's great and all, but you're also you're inviting a lot of contact and turnover opportunities, which we saw on that fumble. But I thought he was better. I thought it was good that McDaniels was able to work in some edge stuff, some tosses to him, and I think we all know he's better in space, and you want to get him in space. It's tough to do that when he can't pass block, which he hasn't been able to do. And secondly, you can't do that all the time. Like, you can't say, all right, well, we're only going to give Travion Henderson the ball in space because the other team's going to know what's coming. So you got to mix it up. But, today was definitely a step forward for him in the running game. And I also want to shout out, I thought the second-level blocking was much better, which is really where this offense was lacking from sort of, hitting a few like 10, 15, 20-yard runs. It hasn't been just the running backs. It's been they haven't been able to be good on the second level. And I thought, Henderson's long run, I think it was like 18 or 19 yards. It was actually he had a 27-yard run. Yep.
Yeah. You saw Morgan Moses out there, and you saw Michael Wenu, and you saw I think Jared Wilson was out there as well, making good blocks. And you're not going to spring a big block unless you get good blocking downfield. That's been lacking. Today it was better.
All right, more to come with Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal, including I want to ask him if he was running another team trying to beat the Patriots or even keep it close, how would he attack them? I want to get that answer. More to come on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
This is New England offensive lineman Michael Wenu. I'm teaming up once again this year with Credit Union's Kids at Heart in the fight against pediatric brain disorders such as epilepsy, moya, and Batten's disease. For each of the team's first downs, Credit Union's Kids at Heart will make a donation to one or more of its medical partners in order to
here on the Shaws and Star Market Patriots postgame show. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray. Real quick, Joey, just according to Andrew Callahan of the Boston Herald, Christian Barmore declined to speak to the media today and just up and left. So I don't know if, obviously
all right,
might not have been happy.
With that, and I don't know if you ever read or whatever, but
No.
I don't mean to step on your toes there. But so Greg says he doesn't think it's much because he played in the rest of the game. I like Barmore. Clearly, he's, when he's right, he's an impact for the Patriots. And with Milton Williams, they're a duo.
Mm-hmm.
He's had a couple things, right? Even dating back, I doubt it's anything bad, but they don't need this right now, right? And
Sure.
I know long term he's probably up for an extension soon. Defensive tackles get a lot of money. Just you saw in Milton Williams. I'm just floating it out there. Would they ever? I hope it wasn't a problem because he played the rest of the 3 quarters. I'll agree with Greg on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just throwing it out there. But there's names out there. And Simmons is going to be the big name because he's linked to Vrabel. Would you ever do it? Would you ever think about it?
I would, yes. And here's why. Okay, because the Patriots are now entering or have entered a different stratosphere. And what does that mean, Joe? That means when you're a poor team, a bad team, a team searching for talent, some of these chemistry issues that may or may not arise aren't as big of a deal. You need talent. You're not a good team. You just need the talent, and you'll figure out some of the other stuff later. You'll figure out how to build the proper culture and all those things, leadership. All those things we'll figure out later. You need talent or you're doing nothing, okay? But if you have a team with talent, and by talent I mean Drake May, also other guys, but Drake May predominantly because it's the NFL and the quarterback is enormous. Now it's like, okay, well, I need to assess, is this somebody that could be disruptive to the point where we should make a change? Because if you're talking about getting it done in a big, big way, Super Bowl, like the real legitimate type of playoff wins and runs that you want to go on as an actual contender, sometimes those locker room things can make a difference. And the Patriots, Mike Vrabel specifically, need to assess, is this where we are? And is this something that could really get in the way of what we're capable of doing? Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, and just to be clear, he did sign the extension.
Okay.
I might have said he already signed the extension.
Yep.
So, big money.
And he's been playing well. Greg said he's been nearly a perfect player. I'm not going to argue with that.
Yeah, $12 million next year, 18 the next, 18 the next. So he's already signed his extension. Milton Williams has a big deal. There's a lot of money in their D-line. Tonga left the game today with a knee injury. I'm just throwing it out there. There's a lot of money on the line with these guys. Based off the way he playing the game, I don't think it's an impact. But yes, he did sign that big-time extension. Big cap hit, 17, 23 over the next couple of years.
I'm not saying they need to trade him. They should try. I'm just saying this is a different type of thing that you're going to be dealing with that they haven't really dealt with outside of the head coach the last few years with Belichick, with obviously Gerard Mayo. Is there a player that could become a problem to the level where it could derail sort of what we're trying to do, or could take away from what we're trying to do when we have a chance to do something? Obviously, you always want to have good chemistry, a good culture, but when you're not a good team, you just need talent. You got to take a risk if that guy might not be, exactly what you're...
Mark, this is the year to take the risk, right?
Yeah.
You've already spent money in the offseason. You have all this cap space. I know next year it will be higher than what it is now, and that's probably what they're planning for.
Yeah.
But why not right now to take the chance? Teams to turn around. I mean, I'm not to mention the Washington thing, but they made it to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
In a year turnaround. If that's I'm not even calling it the ceiling. If that's where they're headed, make the move. Get another running back. I'm only just saying another running back for security reasons. If you can get another defensive lineman, maybe there's another tight end out there just per se. I'm just bringing up things. They don't need it, but you know what? When you're a good team, you have to go for it sometimes.
And I'll tell you another reason why. And if you want to call in, 617-779-0985 on this topic. We're at week, 7? Okay. How has this draft class looked this year so far, Joe? Good. I mean, obviously, Will Campbell's been fine. Henderson had a little bit of a breakout thing today. Great. I'm just saying it's not like they've got these bona fide studs who are going to be long-term playmakers, bar none, for this team for years to come. We still don't know. And if that's the case, you still haven't sort of proven exactly what you're able to do in the draft. I would be very ready to make a deal. I'm just saying, again, you need to, if you're the Celtics, not there, you can't cross sports, whatever. The Celtics, when they traded for Kyrie Irving, that was a team in a position at that time to take a risk at a guy that maybe a little checkered outside, things distracting, whatever. He wasn't perfect off the court or in the locker room, but he was really talented, and you needed talent. I don't know if the Patriots are that right now. They might have an appropriate level of talent to maybe to win the Super Bowl, I don't know, but to make a legitimate run with the way May's playing. And if that's the case, if somebody is clearly being a disruptive force, you might need to evaluate that situation. That's all I'm saying.
Do you know what's funny? Before the game today in our pregame show, they were Steph Diggs in particular was talking about how, we're all in it together. There's no one else. They were talking about how positive the room is.
Okay.
So maybe that was a little I don't want to use the word foreshadowing, but maybe that was something about this happened last night. It's getting handled by the coaching staff, but we're still in this together.
Great.
They should add. Absolutely add.
They should add. They, no matter what the situation is within that locker room or Barmore, they should add. But I just think, and that's the other, you could do it on that side too, is that if you move the player like that, is that going to disrupt guys in the other direction? I mean, chemistry is critical now. I'm just saying, if you're trying to do big things, culture and chemistry are a part of that. And you need to focus and factor that in now, more so than you did when you were just trying to establish any type of positive momentum and just get talent on the roster. Because they've got the guy in place to really do something special. And we'll see if they're able to do that. Because it's just another quick thing, while we're talking about defense and adding things or whatever, the Jalen Hawkins pick, we haven't talked enough about. I mean, what an unbelievable catch. But more specifically, if that's a play, I mean, you just need a role player like that to make some of those plays to really round out this defense. And if he or somebody else can kind of step up and do that more, then you're talking about a really nice complementary piece that this defense could use.
Yeah, no Keon White today, healthy scratch. No Kyle Duggar today, healthy scratch. I wonder if they're in trade discussions.
Larry's in Bill Ricca. Hey, Larry.
Hey, how you doing? Good. Wanted to talk about, Will Campbell with the shorter arms today, like getting manhandled by the best, defensive guy in the league. But what's your position on that?
I think I kind of echo what Greg said. I mean, it's the best defense in the league, one of the best defensive fronts in the league, and maybe the best defensive player in the league. He's not going to win every battle against that player. So, I mean, was it good? No, it wasn't good. I would have loved for him to dominate Myles Garrett. That would have been great. We all would have felt great. But I'm not ready to throw him off the ship or panic or hit the button or whatever just because he had a couple of negative plays against the best guy in the league or the best guy over the last few seasons.
Myles Garrett spoke after the game. Will Campbell's strong. You want to set the tempo and the pace in the game with power. He has the power. He's firm. He has a good stance. He didn't allow me to knock him back, but I did throw different looks at him at times, and he needed to see those. Like, he basically saying maybe he hasn't seen all the looks yet.
Sure.
Which is fine.
Yeah. I mean, it was, again, with Drake May, too. I thought that play where the linebacker, who's a good player, what's his name, Schwarzenegger or whatever?
Schwarzer, from
he's
UCLA.
a good player.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great play. Now, it wasn't a good play from Drake May, but you kind of come in, you fake the blitz, you drop back into coverage, you're spying the quarterback, the pass is right in your kitchen, you're able to make the play and hold on to it. I mean, that's a great play by the defender. You tip your cap. So, again, not a good play, but it's a good defense. So they're going to make some plays on you. And I like the way that Drake May bounced back and continued to make plays himself and counterpunch when something bad happened. So that's more of a net positive again.
Every negative thing that happened today, I know we're up against it, they got over it. They answered everything today. Like, we could look at Will Campbell versus next.
Right.
Bijan Robinson next week. That's what I'm looking at.
I thought Greg did, put together a case of how to approach the team. I would definitely throw in the middle of the field, definitely. And try to figure, you got to find a way to slow down May. That's the big question. I don't know how
Keep
you
him off the field, maybe?
Yeah.
This is why
That's
next week, we'll get into it.
Shorten the game.
Falcons are going to respond against the Dolphins. I still think the Patriots win, but Bijan, to me, is still one of the top 5 players in the league. They got to stop him.
And maybe it was, maybe Kirk Cousins was a little rusty. He needed to get a little rhythm back or something. I think he'll be better. So we'll have to wait and see. That should be interesting.
Battle of the Drakes, London in May.
There we go. All right, more to come on the Shaws and Star Market Patriots post-game show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub, Patriots Radio Network.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Accord or 2026 HR-V. Hurry into your Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details.
Builders, remodelers, and homeowners, listen up. Partner with one of the most trusted, independently owned lumberyards and showrooms around, Cape Cod Lumber and CCL Homescapes. Visit CCL's newly renovated kitchen showroom and get inspired as soon as you walk through the door. Explore the latest trends from the most reliable kitchen cabinet manufacturers in the industry. Check out dozens of color combinations and popular styles in our refreshed showroom in Abington. Visit us.
Market Patriots Postgame Show. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray, 617-779-0985. Bob is in Marlboro. Hey, Bob.
Hey, guys. Hey, Joe. Question for you. A win like today and some of the other wins this team has had, doesn't it just point to the fact that last year was such a waste? It was such a terrible decision to hire Gerard Mayo. We could have been doing this last year with Mike Vrabel.
Maybe.
Sorry, I cut you off there.
No, yeah, the reason why I said the coaching staff was different, Mike Vrabel brought in how many different head coaches to be a part of of the staff this year? Right, and
Doug Marrone.
Yeah, just
Josh McDaniels.
McAdoo even got the
big baby back Mac or whatever.
But Brown, the quarterback's coach, right?
Yeah.
Like all these, it's night and day. But this is why my leadoff take was the coaching. It was the coaching. Those second half adjustments. Maybe it was Drake May looking at tape. I don't know. Maybe looking at the laptop, the tablet. Pretty sure Josh McDaniels has owned Jim Schwartz in his career. Yeah. Owned him. And it showed in the second half today. So I am giving Josh McDaniels credit for that. I'm also giving Mike Vrabel credit because the defense, once again, how many second half points did the Browns scored today?
Would they have the one touchdown?
Let's see here. Yes, one touchdown that was garbage time, right?
No, and no conversion either.
6 points they gave up.
Yeah.
6. Can I commend? But can I credit Mike Vrabel for that? Is it okay?
Sure.
Just want to make sure because they didn't have that a year ago. They had a quarterbacks coach running the offense, and they had a guy with no experience running the team. And their offensive line was horrific. It's just different last year to this year. But to answer his question, maybe Vrabel wanted to get paid a year from Tennessee and then figure it out.
Everything has been stabilized. And I do think today did – I don't want to say it ended the discussion, but I think what we saw from Drake May, that point meant a lot to me. That spoke to me. And then what he said in the postgame about Josh McDaniels ended some of the speculation, especially some of these maniacs that think that Josh McDaniels is just along for the ride or something and didn't have anything to do with Drake May's production and ascent. I'm not saying he's had everything to do with it, but he was pretty good when he was here with Mac Jones in 2021. And now he's been pretty good with Drake May this year, and now May is acknowledging it on the field after a dynamic touchdown pass. I'm sorry. This is a good thing for the Patriots, and that meant something to me. Okay, so for the people that think it's just ridiculous that Josh McDaniels is getting credit, go away, because I don't want to hear it. The guy has added value, and we're seeing it on game day, and we're seeing it on some of the play calls. And I thought some of his play calls that we know were Josh McDaniels calls today worked out. And that was good for the Patriots.
And I'll be the first to tell you, he definitely outcoached Schwartz today. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it just settling May down at the half.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not even going to know all the details, but he definitely felt like there were things that McDaniels offered May that helped him in real time.
Just to have the discussion, because we do talk shows. We're doing a post-game show, but there have been discussions about the McDaniels offense not working, and they've opened it up a little bit more to Drake May's benefit, where maybe McDaniels' impact hasn't been much. But today, it worked, right? It was 9-7 at halftime. He needed to settle down. They came up with plays with no safety help over the top, and Drake May nailed it. He had that little you mentioned the seam play, right, to the tight end?
Loved it.
That's a Josh McDaniels special. They faked a pitch to the outside and threw a deep. Those are all stuff that we've seen from Josh McDaniels for 20 years here.
It's stunning to me that that's what's able to settle him down, and they're not really relying on what you would think the easier completions would be. Some of the checkdowns, some of the things, closer to the line of scrimmage that could get a quarterback going, get a quarterback in rhythm. If you didn't see it, Mac Hollins arrived at the game today in a Halloween costume, the chess piece. Did you see that?
I saw him in the costume. I didn't know what it was.
I think it was a chess piece, maybe a bishop. I think it was a bishop, but he was barefoot in a chess piece. Your thoughts?
Well, he likes to ground,
okay.
So he always comes barefoot. Yep. The chess piece, though, maybe he's the checkmate. I don't know.
He had a good game today.
Do you think who's going to ask Vrabel if they can have a Halloween party this year? Is that Diggs? Hey, we'd like you to go, Mike. What would you be?
I don't know. I would say Landry, just from their relationship, but I don't know if he's that kind of
today,
personality.
Landry? I didn't see him out there.
But just because they've had the relationship, but I don't know if he's that type of personality.
Yeah.
Diggs feels
Carlton
like
Davis, maybe. Maybe he's one.
Played better today.
Give him credit, man. But Gonzo stood out to me. I know that he's kind of come along here. But hey, listen, I don't really have much to complain about. I'm already looking forward to next week, Mark, and I want to see what happens with Bijan Robinson.
Can I just say one other thing I thought of this week that I just want to put into play because it annoyed me on one of the second down runs. What quarter were we in here? Maybe the second quarter, where there was a 2nd and 1, okay, where Ramondre Stevenson didn't get the run. Yeah, we're in the second quarter. He didn't get the first down, got stood up. Then there was the there was the false start on Onwenu. Then they threw it on 3rd and 6 and didn't get it. I think every team in the NFL should have some version of the tush push. You know, like a play where you basically can guarantee 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. Whether that's you take some time to train a running back to go under center and execute the tush. I mean, they should all have it. If the Eagles can do it and guarantee a yard, that's a valuable tool to have in your bag. And I just wish the Patriots would do something like that. And I hate when
they have. Just we didn't see it today though. But they've tried something.
They've tried to. I mean, or at least sneak it more. I mean, Brady was so good at the sneak. But I just don't want you ever in the shotgun with 1 yard to go. Find a way to line up and get the 1 yard. Just one thought I had, but that's what you get when you're in a situation where they just keep.
They've done something to the degree where May runs.
Yeah.
I think May was more protected and aware of being protected today.
We didn't ask Greg about the runs, but I think we can come to the conclusion that he was better. He ran out of bounds. He tried to get down. I don't see him. He didn't really take many hits running the ball. I thought he took a couple. Obviously when he got sacked, he took some hits, but running the ball, I didn't really see it, and I think that's something that the Patriots. And I'll tell you this, Joe, I'm not surprised. Drake May has been coachable. He's made adjustments when necessary, and I think that's been something that's benefited the Patriots and will continue to benefit the Patriots as they go forward here in what was another good win. And based on what's been going on around the league, they're right there at the top.
Well, speaking of going around the league, maybe we'll do that.
That's right. We're going to do that. More to come. We're going to do that coming up here on the Shaws and Star Market Patriots postgame show. But first, let's get headlines from Joe Murray.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots winners now 5 in a row. They win 32-13 over Cleveland. James Cook involved.
Yeah.
And they didn't against the Patriots.
He was involved today. What did he have today?
216 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. He had less than 40 against the Patriots. Like, the next meeting, if I'm them, I get James Cook involved.
That's being involved. 49ers and Texans today. Mac Jones, your boy, doing some things.
Oh, he did.
I mean, I
Wally
think
in the
there we
backfield,
go.
CJ in the gun, bunch formation left on 3rd and 7 at the San Francisco 30. Here's pressure, CJ over the middle, caught, 15, 10, 5, into the end zone, rock and roll, touchdown, Houston.
Who is it?
What a play to Xavier Hutchinson.
Who?
X marks the spot.
My guy, my man.
Electric call from Texans radio on Sports Radio 610. Mac Jones did throw a touchdown pass. C.J. Stroud did more, though. 2 touchdown passes. The Texans 26-15 over the 49ers.
Keep an eye on the Texans. 3-4, but if they can get out of that hole, they can compete.
I'm not ready yet. Not ready to consider that. I just haven't seen. I've seen too much of a drop off, and Stroud's been too inconsistent. I'm just not ready yet. Giants and Eagles today. What was a marquee game on the schedule? Let's hear what happened.
Blood. Push. Hurts. Leans forward. Ball is taken away from Kayvon Thibodeau. Did they blow the whistle? And you can't reach the ball forward unless you're at the goal line. It's a live ball when you do that. Oh. Well, there's a lot there. I thought he had the first down initially, first of all. And then that, Dean, that's a live ball, right?
They're ruling forward progress. To me, he is pushing forward. He is reaching. That is an early whistle.
It's courtesy of Fox TV. The Eagles get the big win over the Giants 38-20, and some bad news injury-wise from the Giants with Cam Scatterbo.
Tough blow. Him and Dart, they were supposed to be the next duo. Maybe next year.
And he's such a violent player, and you love that. And not that, this could have happened to anybody, but it was a gruesome ankle injury, and he's, you wish him the best in the recovery there. Bears and Ravens, one of the surprises for me today.
Give it to Henry, right side, hit at the line, bounces to the outside. Derrick Henry to the 1, touchdown Ravens! And with 2:09 left to play, we've waited a month, but the hay's in the barn!
Ravens get a comfortable win without Lamar Jackson. Some weird stuff going on there with the injury report, and he ended up not playing, but the Ravens comfortably 30-16 over the Bears. And the only reason that's interesting to me, Joe, I'm just wondering if the Ravens, I know they're 2-5, 2-3 at home, if they're able to hang around and the division that they're in isn't great, could they find a way with Lamar Jackson later to sneak back into a situation where they're in it?
Bengals lose tonight? Lost today?
Yep.
Can the Steelers lose tonight?
They
and the
could.
Browns
Green
lost
Bay's a
today,
good team.
right?
Yeah.
They're still alive.
They're still alive. And it's not like they were playing poorly. Their defense was struggling, but they were playing okay with Jackson in there. Obviously, he's a great player.
The Bears and Caleb Williams losing on the road, being 4-3. This should have been a game, the signature win for them. Like when the Patriots had their signature win against Buffalo, that means they haven't gotten over the hump.
Right. If you're talking about the ascent of Caleb Williams, you go on the road and you beat a backup quarterback like this. That's what you got to do. I know the Ravens are they've struggled mightily.
Yep.
You've been playing pretty well. You got to beat a team like that. Just wild action in the Jets and Bengals game.
Ruckert motions right. The lone setback, Breece Hall. Toss sweep to the right. Breece Hall, he's going to throw the ball. Pumps once, throws back in the end zone. It's caught! Mason Taylor! The option pass right by Breece Hall for a touchdown. And the Jets are a point after away from the lead.
All right, I want to just say Bears and Ravens were courtesy of WBAL, WIYY, Ravens Game Day Network. The game we just heard, Jets and Bengals, courtesy of Q104.3 and the New York Jets Radio Network. I don't know if I've ever seen a running back pump fake and then throw a touchdown. This game was wild. I thought the Bengals had it in the bag. The Jets, complete losers this year, find a way offensively to come all the way back and win 39-38.
Well, these people are going to be looking at these two teams for trade people, whether it's Breece Hall, whether it's Hutchinson for them, but a demoralizing loss for the Bengals today.
Yeah.
And the Jets get their first win, and of course the Nick Mangold stuff.
Oh, devastating.
Just a sad day for the organization.
Awful to see that. And from the Bengals' perspective. I mean, you got Joe Flacco in there. You bring him in. That was a good move based on the weapons you have. You score 38 points.
Yeah, they rushed for 181 yards and lost.
And you can't find a way to win that game against a winless team at home.
They had 12 for 91. Jamar Chase. T. Higgins 1 for 44. So, yeah, not enough. 23 fourth quarter points for the Jets.
Yeah. And the Titans and Colts right now doing it up. Colts in control of that one, as Tony Maz would have predicted.
Colts near the red zone now. Out of the pistol. Actually, they're going to move Jonathan Taylor to the right of Jones. Out of the gun now. Ball on the right hash. Shotgun snap for Jones. Looking left. He's going to take a shot and throws a laser towards the pylon. And that is a catch for Michael Pittman Jr. There's a penalty on the play, but Pittman scores a touchdown as Pittman snared it in with one hand on a 21-yard absolute dart thrown by Daniel Jones to Michael Pittman Jr.
Sound courtesy of The Fan and 97.1 Hank FM in Indianapolis. And the question continues to loom, Joe. How serious are we supposed to take the Indianapolis Colts when you have Daniel Jones at quarterback?
Yeah, here you go. I mean, the Titans are what they are, and looks like they're going to pile up the score in the second half here as things end up. But Colts still might be the best team in the AFC.
They might. And when you talk about what they've got coming, I mean, again, I'm looking for I know they do play Kansas City. And that will be one of their big measuring sticks on November 23rd at Kansas City. Can you win that game? And they've got a lot of, 3 games before that. One game, I guess, we'll see what happens tonight. Game at the Steelers. If the Steelers are able to win tonight and kind of get a little momentum, that could be an interesting matchup depending on how they're playing at that time. But are the Colts for real? And are they one of the top teams in the AFC? That's what I mean, I don't believe. It feels like other people believe more than me because I just think they're the Vikings of last year and that Daniel Jones isn't going to be the guy that they need him to be in the playoffs. Quarterbacks. It's a quarterback league. All right. More to come. We'll wrap things up here on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports on Patriots Radio Network.
Now's the time for